everyone, Jennifer here, back with another edition of TV Talk. It's Tuesday, and that means it's Star Wars Day. And this week's episode of The Clone Wars was Old Friends Not Forgotten. Knowing she would need help in facing Maul and freeing Mandalore from his rule, Ahsoka contacts the only two people she feels that she can trust: Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi. Okay, things I liked about this episode. Now, don't get me wrong, this was a great episode. So when I say nothing, that doesn't necessarily mean that I hated the episode. There were actually quite a few things I liked about the episode. I liked the fact that it does tie in timeline-wise with Revenge of the Sith. And not just this episode, but the next 4 episodes, as this is the these are the last 4 episodes of the Clone Wars. They're going to end. This is the last arc for Clone Wars, and they are really trying to tie up a lot of the loose ends from Revenge of the Sith as to, you know, what's really going on, and a lot of stuff that was brought up in Rebels that is like, well, where the heck did this happen? Where did this come from? And whatnot. So they're really trying to tie up a lot of loose ends here. And I do kind of like how they're tying up Ahsoka's story within Rebels. And not just Ahsoka's story, but Anakin's story, even though he's really not in the episode that much. What's going on with Mandalore, Rex, everything that's going on. And these last 4 episodes are going to answer some questions. Like, obviously we know a few things, but we know that there's, I don't want to give away any spoilers. We know that, you know, Order 66 is coming, you know, and what's going on with that. You know, how does Ahsoka, handle Order 66 and everything. Is like there's stuff going on here that have questions from Rebels that I really can't talk about because it's going to be revealed in Rebels, and I don't want to spoil it too much for you guys. So we have a lot of, so there's a lot of things that, like, I can't say, but that because they tie into Rebels. There's a lot of stuff probably in these next few episodes that are going to tie in with the Bad Batch as well. So we have, and also with Tales of the Jedi. So we have quite a few things that it's like it leaves unanswered questions, and it's like, what the heck happened here? What's going on? And particularly with Tales of the Jedi and the Bad Batch, they were probably released after Clone Wars, so a lot of people are like, okay, no, that makes sense. But for people like me who haven't seen it yet, this is the first time I've seen this episode, it's like, where did this come from? I don't get it. I get it because I've seen Rebels, but I don't get it, kind of thing. So I do like how they're tying up loose ends. They're making the connections with the Bad Batch, with Rebels, with Tales of the Jedi. That makes sense. And it as you watch, it makes sense. It's like, oh, okay, I get it. I get where that comes from. I get what they're referring to now when I see that episode again. And whatnot. I liked Ahsoka's new design. She has a completely different design from the previous 4 episodes. I like the new design for the 501st because they're the ones that are helping her. I like that we are back on Mandalore because we have not come back to Mandalore since the Lawless. We have seen in Rebels a few Mandalorians, and again, I don't want to get too much into that because it would be spoiler. But we see a couple of Mandalorians, a few. We kind of get an idea of what was going on with Rebels, particularly in later seasons. with what's going on in Mandalore during the time of the Empire, and I believe a lot of what's going on in this episode will lead up to that. Will lead up to, okay, this is what's going on. Out of there. Will lead up to that and whatnot. So it's kind of like, okay, we're getting an idea of what's going on here. So I did like all that. I do like how they're bringing all that together. They're trying to tie everything together. And it's like, we kind of know what's going on in this timeline right now from Revenge of the Sith. Because this is literally, it's the exact same timeline. So while with... So while Obi-Wan and Anakin, they're going off to rescue Palpatine, and Anakin kills Dooku, and then is made a Jedi Master, even though Ahsoka, his only apprentice, never was really knighted. And, you know, Padme revealing to Anakin that she's pregnant, and Obi-Wan going to the planet, I forget which one it's called, and battling Grievous, and then Order 66 happening, and Anakin falling to the dark side and becoming Darth Vader, and all that stuff that's happening in Revenge of the Sith. That Revenge of the Sith, is happening parallel, minute by minute, with what's going on here. So it's a lot that's going on. You have to keep in mind that there's a lot going on with with Revenge of the Sith that's parallel to what's going on here, and they will probably refer to it a little bit to what's going on with Revenge of the Sith and whatnot. So there's that. I liked how they tied in the opening of this episode with Revenge of the Sith. You see, instead of it being the traditional yellow opening sign for the Clone Wars, it's red now for Revenge of the Sith. I'm sure there's going to be a lot more connections to Revenge of the Sith. I'm sure they're going to end Clone Wars with a bang. They want it to be, bam, linked with Revenge of the Sith and whatnot. And I promise you, as soon as we get through the next 3 episodes, we will go right into Rebels. And a lot of what I'm saying will refer back to Rebels. We can finally talk about. Okay, things I didn't like about this episode. There really wasn't a lot I didn't like about this episode. It was really well done. I get, they leave us with a cliffhanger, but there's a reason why they leave us with a cliffhanger. They want us to come back to the next episode to find out what happens. So I really liked, I have no problem with a cliffhanger. Normally I hate cliffhangers, but I get why they did the cliffhanger on this one. You knew going in with these being the last 4 episodes, and with what's going on in this episode, that, yeah, they're going to leave you with a cliffhanger. So I didn't mind the cliffhanger. I really liked it. I thought it was really good. The plot line was great. It's going to definitely carry over to the next episode. You know from how they ended it, it's going to carry over to the next episode. We see Maul for the first time since Lawless, which is great. I mean, I love-hate Maul. It's like Maul's one of those characters. He's kind of like Ventress, just love to hate him kind of thing. So I liked that. It's really good. Like, they're really doing a good job of bringing this episode, in my opinion, together with Revenge of the Sith, and they're doing a really good job of tying up the loose ends so far. Like, right now, I can honestly say when I think back to like Rebels and certain things, I'm like, okay, I get where that comes from now. I do. So they're doing a really good job of tying it up, and I have like literally no problems with this episode. It's just, this was the first time I saw it, and really nothing really jumped out at me to make me say I absolutely love this episode. This is on like my top favorites list of episodes. Despite the fact that my favorite character is in it, and one of my top 10 favorite characters, or 2 of my top 10 favorite characters is in it. Okay, before I sign off, a few things I'd like to touch on. First off, a quick reminder on my comment rules. Number 1, no mean comments. Number 2, no bad or curse words in comments. Number 3, I'm not opposed to debates, but please keep it civil. And finally, number 4, please be respectful to me and each other. Okay, please leave your comments and questions in the comments section. I do love to read this. Also, feel free to follow me on Wattpad, Tumblr, Instagram, and Twitter. I do have my name for those 4 sites right there on the screen, as well as the pictures I use for the icons. Please note that all pictures seen within this video do belong to their respected artists. I own absolutely nothing, and the links for any sites mentioned in this video will be in the description section. Okay, YouTube subscribers. Any of my videos that cannot be found on YouTube are on my Facebook page. Facebook friends. Basically the same thing. Any of my videos that cannot be found on Facebook are on my YouTube channel. And for anyone who's interested, feel free to check out my Facebook group, Fanfic Corner. Okay, I'd like to apologize for not posting a video in a while. Unfortunately, a lot of stuff has come up, and when that happens, TV Talk is one of the first things to be put on the back burner. I apologize again. Unfortunately, this is not something I can control. And I'd like to say it's not going to happen again, but it probably will. I will do my best not to make sure it doesn't happen anytime soon, but I cannot make that promise. Okay, please like and share this video if you're watching on Facebook, or like and subscribe if you haven't already if you're watching on YouTube. And as always, thank you for watching, and may the Force be with you.